Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
I'm just finishing up real quick on the forums. Me and Rod going over if the Suicide Squad movie was indeed any good.
It's getting heated.
It's getting heated, but what's happening is what I knew would happen. I got him down from fantastic to great to good to now I think we're at it didn't waste my time and I stand by it. So as long as I'm waking people, I get less semantics from the poly community than I do people pretending to have to like dumb shit. Just
wow,
it wasn't good.
How fun are you to have a conversation with? I just went to the movies and I had fun. Did you? What? Yeah. Let's look up fun real quick.
Because they're never going to try hard if you keep pretending you're like shit. You didn't make it. It's not your fault if they trick you. I'm a human being. I can like some goofy shit. I'm watching What If. It's the new, it's on the Disney Channel. It's What If in these alternate universes, Spider-Man was really bad or this kind of thing. The latest being there was no Captain America. There's a woman and it's Captain Britain. And so I saw that, loved it very much. It's a cartoon, but I love seeing Nazis get killed in any form. So I can like some goofy stuff. I'm not all square and fuddy-duddy. Just admit the Suicide Squad blew donkey balls.
So specific, the balls they blew.
And I know nowadays, oh, you hate all Nazis, Kate. I'm old-fashioned. Give me time. Okay, give me time. Still working on ladies and gentlemen. Okay. This Saturday, we'll be live on your screen with Silent Trailers, the best game show ever made. I have some quotes right here. Here's some reactions. Ready? Quote, "This is the best game show ever made." So, I'm telling the truth. Here's another one. "OMG, was that Chemda's description of Tom Cruise?" So we have a good time over here. Be part of it. Chemda doesn't know movies, even less about actors and actresses. So, of course, she's the one that looks at a movie trailer in silent and tries to describe what's going on.
Now, I think last time, because we just rewatched one of the ones we did last year. It's on our YouTube page. And last time I described, and people got really upset, I described Tom Cruise as, that guy that runs a lot in movies. Mm-hmm. And we have reported more than once that he is the most running on screen, right?
That is true. The more Tom Cruise runs, coincidentally, question mark, the better the movie does. The greatest one being Mission Impossible, where he literally ran for 2 hours.
I mean, if people read the articles, they'd be able to figure out what movie I'm talking about. Please, people, don't just read the headlines. It's very important, this stuff.
Join us. It's me. I try to guess the trailer she's talking about versus some of the funniest comedians we've had on the show. You're going to like it. Join us free via your Keith and the Girl VIP membership at keithandthegirl.com/VIP or get tickets and info at keithandthegirl.com/tickets. Backstage tickets are available for a limited time. Go to keithandthegirl.com/tickets now. Okay. I'm all jazzed up today, Chemda. I ate a little healthy snack. Perhaps you already know what it is, but I'll tell you.
Is it mukbang?
Mukbang is the greatest new thing that I've tried recently. Healthy snacks have a bad reputation, right? Why don't you eat a bowl of the dog shit? Well, I'm sure that's a nice pick-me-up, but it tastes like dump, and it's not healthy. It can't be. Now we have something that's a pick-me-up, healthy, and tastes great. They fill you up. They satisfy your cravings. I'm talking about Monk Pack Keto Nut and Seed Bars. Monk Pack granola bars. They go, this is a great product, but we're a newish company, right? So how do we make sure we don't get too many orders in? We'll call ourselves and as people figure out the name, we'll be able to catch up on the supply, So monkpack.com, enter code KTG at checkout. You're going to get 20% off your first purchase. How about that? 20% off any product by visiting .com, enter code all right? And you're going to be a big fan of these if you can figure it out. It's almost a challenge that only, I guess, puzzle solvers can get it. I don't know. But anyway, if you can figure out what I'm selling here, I promise you'll be pleased, okay? Is so confident in their product that it's backed with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. If you don't like it for any reason, they'll exchange the product, refund your money, whatever you prefer. Okay. Go to .com, select any product at all, enter code and save 20%. It's delicious. It's nutritious food that you can count on. And we thank them immensely for sponsoring the podcast. Oh, that's the word I pronounced wrong? Okay, look. Go to munkpack.com, munkpack.com. You enter the code KATG at checkout. That's what you do, and you're going to love it. All right? Kenda,
Yes.
let's introduce today's guest.
Yes.
Okay. He's controversial. And I realize why. Because he's the host of the Man Whore podcast. And he tells it like it is. It's like, oh, you got a blowjob from two hot chicks on Fifth Avenue. How you do it? And he goes, what dumbest question I ever fucking heard. You can do it. If it's consensual, you can do it. And people are like, oh, you don't know. It's like, well, listen to how he does. He does. You get an Uber, go to Fifth Avenue, start getting sucked off, right? And they're like, oh, I don't know. I'm going to hate this guy instead of trying to, call a car service, Well, don't listen to the guys out there. I'm seeing them pagan. I'm seeing yoga balls. I'm seeing everything. In fact, Kenda says, hey, Billy, come on, Keith and the girl. And Billy goes, oh, let me guess. Keith found my yoga balls again, which I hope that's not true, because I forget that sometimes I cross-contaminate social media. So I saw yoga balls of his, he doesn't care. He doesn't even have to be hard. He'll put it out there. He doesn't give a shit. And he's doing yoga naked. And then I tweet it and he goes, hey, he said it nicely, but he's like, can you take that down? Don't want my dad to see it. I'm like, but I didn't go through your photo album in your house. So if he's doing more yoga balls out there, but I have to keep it to myself. I mean, half the fun of seeing yoga balls is sharing yoga balls with your friends, right?
Can I?
Yeah, but Keith Malley is so popular. He's such an entertainment force on social media that, I put out me and Happy Baby Pose Naked on Twitter. Hey, maybe a couple hundred people. If I'm lucky, a couple thousand people. See, Keith Malley from Keith and the puts that out. Fucking viral potential, and just it was like, I didn't need that in my life on that day.
Can I just get this straight, that this guest that no one has any idea who it is. So
what's the host of the Man Whore podcast? We know that.
It's exciting.
What is that?
When he's in Down Dog, he took a picture showing the balls, because in Down Dog you could see the balls from behind.
He takes video. It's the whole thing. So the great Billy Procida we're talking about, by the way, who I just saw another Instagram that he's sitting on a version of a Sibian, the big motor, dick up, and it's implied that he's sitting, it's up his asshole as he's trying to.
I mean, I know they don't sponsor you, but we would call that a motor bunny.
Motor bunny, right. And so was it real that you were really sitting on that, saying, hey, thanks for listening to my podcast?
Hello, welcome to the show, Billy Procida.
Hi, everybody. Nice to be in front of everybody again.
Was that up your ass?
I've had it up my ass, but I don't think it was up my ass in that particular video.
You don't think so?
I think I did a gag. I did a little bit of a gag for a thing. I was, on the socials. It was a long quarantine.
Sure. But you'll put that up your ass. You don't care, right?
It's been a while, because to turn it on, it's such a powerful toy that, I got neighbors. It's not really. I think if you live in an apartment situation, it's more difficult to use, because it'll vibrate your whole fucking house. So yeah, I could get it in me, but I could have to turn it on so low. It's like, what's the point? But I got man work on this weekend, so we'll see, maybe see how I feel.
Okay, what is it looking good?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Well, it's going to be in a house situation where when we turn it on to 11, it doesn't bother the neighbors.
Okay, so how is your dad holding up? Because I did see on Twitter. By the way, yeah, you act like I could be naked on Instagram, and Keith and somebody goes, I saw you naked. Like, no, you didn't. We only talk Twitter here. But anyway, on Twitter, you showed how when you Google your name, what pops up? Sex parties are back, and it's a story with Billy Procida. Now, that's fine for your dad to see that?
Yeah.
You're out of this
unfortunately,
will. Just do whatever you want. You're out of the will, Billy.
Oh, because
Now,
he's
my
not allowed
dad-
to do like soft things like yogas for chicks, having orgies is for men.
Okay.
No, one is a BuzzFeed article and one is literally like a live stream of me in naked happy baby pose. These things are not the same. But also my dad's like old school misogynist Italian and doesn't like realize it. So like it's fine for me to go to orgies and be a hoe on the internet because I'm not one of his daughters. So, but I think a picture of my balls is maybe a place we can draw a line.
I don't know how to tell you this, Billy. I was very close to what you just said.
The last time we talked, I believe you were making glory holes in your house, right? It was I believe it was
like me.
I believe it was pandemic times, but you were being safe by having a curtain in your house and cutting a hole in it and getting blowjobs from strangers. Also, the world's falling apart, of course, Black Lives Matter, this kind of thing. So you thought you should get a gun. And also, that's also helps keep you safe for these people that you can't see eye to eye when they're sucking your dick. How are we doing now mental health wise? And do you love mental health?
Well, I no longer have the glory hole in my new apartment, and
What makes you take that down?
Gun.
What makes you take that down?
Well, he moved.
Yeah, frankly, like I moved, and
Yeah.
so it's just a different situation. So to do a glory hole here, I got to prop open doors in a less convenient way. I've got a roommate who it would affect more than maybe the last place. So,
Right.
yeah.
Did you get your deposit back? There's fucking holes in everything. It's a fucking Swiss cheese apartment over there.
That apartment, I got out of it. I escaped it, but it was a shit. I should have got my deposit. Did not get my deposit back. No, I know you were being fun, but you dipped into trauma by accident.
Right.
No, I'm good. Mental health is fine. I just wish I had my glory hole back.
Yeah. What's the last
That
thing
was
you
dope.
fucked? What's the last thing you had sex with?
Oh gosh, probably a person.
Okay.
Yeah. No, over the weekend I went to my friend's birthday gangbang in Sacramento, so I'm actually just back from that.
Reporting or fucking and sucking, bro?
Aren't they all like one and the same in my lifestyle? But
Hello. Right. Do you bring the
Yeah.
microphone?
My friend, she wanted months ago. She said she wanted to like do a birthday gangbang. Invited me, asked if I'd come out, and so I went out there for that, and it was interesting.
How many people does it take to be able to call yourself a gangbang? What's the ratio? How many people?
Well, like I think a gangbang typically, I mean, of course we can remix things, but typically
We won't take you to court.
Yeah,
Right.
I appreciate that.
He sends us an email follow up. I know I said more than 6, but
Can we issue a retraction? No. So, typically I think there's one receiver, special guest type of person, a center of attention. And then the gang banging is happening to this person and their various holes. I think you can have a gang bang with 4. I think 5 is safer for regulations. But with 4, if you're really just going one after the other and not ever like doing things simultaneously, then I think you're really more in a train situation, which was kind of like a cousin of gangbang.
what's safer for regulations if you're going for a record?
If you're going for a gangbang, because then you can just get more dick things happening in at the same time as opposed to a train. You got to wait for one guy to finish. Sometimes there's someone who wants to show off like his Kegels and go, you go for 10 minutes. That might not seem long for regular sexual intercourse, but you go 10 minutes at the gangbang and there's literally a line of people. You ever be like not sure what you want, like at the front of a coffee line? It's like, it's very angst inducing. You're like, I'm sorry, everybody, I'm almost there. It's like, you got to reassure a lot of people that everything's working okay.
And
So
a
in
quick
this-
I'm sorry.
Few,
Can I do a quick
I
follow
was
up?
going to say,
Are you a gentleman gangbanger? Do you get to the edge so that you can just fuck real quick and be like, good day, my lady? Or do you take your time and enjoy it?
I think it depends on the situation and the vibe that I'm feeling. Ideally, like in the best scenarios, I would love to be going for as long as I can without inconveniencing others.
Okay, very good.
So in this case, it was your friend's birthday, and in every case, it's always a female and men doing the ganging, or
Not at all.
in this case, it is. So right. So your
In this
friend,
case, it was a woman with a bunch of dudes, and the theme was she wanted dudes that she's wanted to have sex with for a while, but has yet to fuck. Plus
Okay,
a couple of her partners.
And so how do you orchestrate that? Do you go like, Billy, you're going to be like, does the invitation say there will be this many other people, hopefully, and we'll do one at a time? Or is it like when you get there, it's like, oh, one of the games is pin the tail on the donkey. The other one is fuck me.
As always, I think you can arrange anything however one wants to. So like I did
Walk
not
us
get
through this one.
Well, for this one, I think she texted everyone on their own. So I don't know how she talked to other people. She already knows I've experienced in group sex. So like really we kind of cut to the chase of like, hey, doing this date. Do you want to come out to Cali for it? I'll have an Airbnb for you and I'll get you some weed. And I'm like, I'm a cheap date. So that worked out. And then it was really a matter of like, we talked about testing because she wanted to do like a bareback gangbang. And this is someone who I've known for a good chunk of years and has worked in the adult entertainment industry. So I trust her and how she takes her body seriously. So like, you know, we just had discussions about like testing and the timing of that type of stuff.
Do people have to bring a vaccine card? Keep it classy.
Yeah, everyone had to be vaccinated. I asked like, you know, have you not just did you ask? It's like, you know, so it's funny because literally earlier a few hours ago, a different friend in Philly asked if I would attend her gangbang next month. I think I'm starting to become like a group sex mercenary, and I just don't feel worthy. But you know.
So you go and get yourself tested for all STDs.
Yeah.
And then you don't. And then she trusts that you came out negative.
Well, no, I showed her. I sent her a screenshot when my results came in, and same with the vaccination thing. So with the gangbang next month, I said, hey, by the way, like I would just please visually see everyone's vaccination shit because you know they're selling those fake vaccination cards, and so want to be safe.
But how would you know? You wouldn't know, right? I bet you would know. Somebody shows you a fake one, you don't know.
I like to think I've got smart friends who can spot a fake.
You have smart fans that would give a fake, and you have smart fans that
if we lived in a society where people were just getting vaccinated when they, you know, that I wouldn't be as worried about it. But
it's funny that's your fantasy because you already live in gangbangs. So now you go to California, and is this a nighttime party?
Yeah, but like, you know, I'll say this. I didn't. So the night before it, I'm hanging with her and two of her partners, and we had like dinner, like they made dinner and we all like ate a thing. And it was a lot of socializing. Did somebody say
time. Like, don't eat too much? Like, don't eat too much. You know,
it was odd that they wanted to make lasagna the night before. I was like, okay, but like, why? I mean, I normally 24 hours before a group sex event, I'm going to like try to keep it tight, or I'm going to overeat because I want to like, you know, self-sabotage or something.
Well, you got to carb up, right? Like before a marathon.
Maybe she needs to carb up, but I just show up and just try not to be afraid and do the job.
Do you ever think really that subconsciously you try to eat too much so that you won't be able to have sex?
I do think I use food as a self-sabotage from time to time, you know, so it's like when I know I should not be stuffing myself because of something I have about to come up, maybe like the next day or two. Sometimes if I'm feeling weird or hating myself, it's like, no, let's have like double Five Guys today to ensure that I cannot perform to the best of my abilities tomorrow. So we can repeat this pattern of, no, Billy is a piece of shit. But I do that less often these days. Five Guys is amazing.
When I go to somebody's
house, I've been customer number one at a Five Guys way too many times.
Whoa.
What does that mean?
On your receipt,
like,
have you ever number?
Oh.
So he's the first customer.
Yeah. He waits for them to open.
Yeah.
I've waited for at least a couple of Five Guys, like sitting outside waiting for them to open, pondering my choice.
And it's always the burger. When somebody cooks for me, if I've never had them cook before, if I never had their food before, I go, I'll just take a small bite, you know, and then if I like it, like, actually, I'm gonna have more. Do you ever do that at the gangbangs? Like, I'm just gonna stick it in real quick, and you're like, oh, of course, it's looking inside out and hollow. That's good. That's all I needed.
I don't think I do gangbangs enough to have that type of a protocol.
Okay.
But I do realize that like your typical human probably measures gangbangs as like one gangbang, two gangbangs, a lot of gangbangs. So therefore I've had a lot of gangbangs just because I've had like more than a couple.
Yeah. And I guess Keith, everyone's cooking for him every other minute too. So we all have our thing.
I just know what
I would
I've
say,
had
like-
more people cook for me than I've had gangbangs. I'll tell you that.
I think there's just a little too much socialization happening with like people I didn't necessarily like fully click with. No one there was like an asshole or anything like that, but just like there was a lot of time like socializing and we're not clicking. So then it's just kind of awkward. Also, maybe it was the lasagna because like I was full of gas the entire time from like the
No.
moment my pants came off and I was going down on her to like everything like being finished. I just like constantly needed to fart and like a distracting level of gas in my ass that it was like, I am not going to achieve an erection until I let this. So I go to the bathroom, I try to quietly let it out. And then it would instantly refuel when I left the bath. It was just, so I did not have the best gangbang experience of my gangbang experiences, but I was happy to go and contribute to my friend's birthday wishes, which
Billy
is to
Billy had
have
the
that.
twisties.
Yeah, I had the gangbang twisties. That's
Well,
what I had.
maybe it's because you were nervous.
Well, I mean, when you have to, I'm definitely nervous to like fart loudly at the gangbang. That would be like every elementary school playground situation just amplified. No, thank you. But it was just like the fact that it was constant. And I don't know if you've ever had this where like it's hard to be horny when your body's just not feeling great. So yeah, like I felt like uncomfortable physically the whole time. So I don't have as easy of a time getting an erection if like my body's funky.
How did everyone else do, you think?
Her two partners like did great because they do this they already have threesomes together. So they were doing wonderful. And then there was another guy, it was his first gangbang, or it was his first group sex experience, period. And I thought he did good. He tried to downplay it the next morning. He was like, I was like, dude, you were functioning. You were hard enough to get a blowjob a few times. You fuck like you
That's
were
funny
good.
because it's like
You gotta have to
showed-
do that too. You not
Yeah.
only have you gotta make everyone feel pretty after. Fuck.
because it's a show. It's like a show, and you know how
Right.
insecure people are. It's a show. Your dick's out. You're naked. You're like, did I spit on that girl just fine? Yeah, they were more concerned
Yeah.
about their turn. Like, yeah, but my angle. What about my thighs? So yeah, it's a lot
Well,
of
like one of the
headache.
guys was worried that he wasn't hard, and like so that can be like anxiety inducing for like a dick haver, even just like one-on-one sometimes. And so like in a group environment, especially if the other people.
But
are
what's he
typically
asking
hard.
you? He either knows if he's hard or not. Is it like this is?
Oh no,
is
no, no!
hard
This is like the
enough?
next This was the next morning. He was just like, oh, I felt like I wasn't hard very often or whatever, which you don't
And you're
have
like-
to be.
And you go, you did great. You did great. You don't have
Yeah,
to always be.
I
hard.
literally told him, I was like, no, dude, you did great. You were fine.
Yeah.
Is his
Right.
first, like, let's fill him with some confidence for his like next, whatever the fuck he gets invited to.
Do you actually enjoy these? Every time we talk to you about some kind of like off the wall, like unusual things that don't happen to other people sexually, like blowjobs on the street or gangbangs, and we're talking about it very casually, like, oh yeah, last week I was just at a gangbang. My friend asked me to do one in
Yeah.
a month, and then we're like, oh shit, you get to live a life that like people pretend they do sometimes, and blah blah blah. And you're like, yeah, it was pretty farty. Next, and last time it was I don't know, the angle wasn't good. People need a lot of reassurance.
Mhm.
It's a lot of work, and it doesn't seem like you like sex that much, but maybe it's because I don't know.
I understand what Hemd is saying. Is it? Are you enjoying yourself, or is it a job and a persona?
I enjoy myself, but just like anything else, like, I get myself into experiences that like I think I'm going to enjoy and I don't. I put myself in some experiences I don't know that I'm going to enjoy. I end up loving it. It's like anything else, like trying someone's food who cooks for you. Yeah, like maybe I think I'm going to like their lasagna, and then the lasagna, has a little too much hair on it. And then I'm like, oh, it's so I got Keith on one finally.
I gotta
yeah, so that's
tell
good.
you, I really think that I like pizza more than you like sex.
Yeah.
I'd probably disagree, but like I also don't need you. I don't need to convince you.
How
But
do you have
I'm okay
depression-
with too much hair on my pizza, so maybe I'm a little less.
How do you have depression issues with all this fucking you're doing? That's what's confusing.
Oh gosh, well, sex is not the answer to happiness, Keith.
It is though, Billy. So maybe
keep
you
trying
just
to tell
overdo it
everybody.
because I promise it is.
All these incel dudes I wish I had more access to the incel community because like sex is not going to make them happy. It's not going to fix the problem. It will like be more fun to come probably, but after you come and your chemicals reorient after whatever many minutes, it's like you're still a sad sack of shit. So let's work on the sad sack of shit stuff. But in terms of like, do I enjoy it? It's like, it's semi-complicated that like, yes, I very much enjoy the sex that I have en masse, and then there was stuff I don't like love and I try whatever. I have enjoyed gangbangs. I have not enjoyed other gangbangs. I think just like any other sexual encounter, it also has to do on other factors, the who, the what, the how, the when, and all that jazz. In terms of gangbangs, by the way, like I feel like people think I love gangbangs, and it's not that I love gangbangs. It's like I will participate in a gangbang with someone I want to have sex with, especially if the option tends to be, at least for the time being, like gangbang or nothing. I'd be like, you know, this is math I did in college when I was answering Craigslist ads for like couples who wanted a third, or like someone who needed they needed a bunch of dicks. It's like, well, if I'm comfortable with at least another dick around, there are more places I can put myself to increase the likelihood that I will get a blowjob.
Well, I see, but I also think that'd make me sad. I think I would leave a gangbang. I can understand even being used as opposed to being loved one-on-one. But when I'm being used as part of six, I think that would just bum me out, especially I just wanted to be with you, but I can only be used as a literal tool.
I didn't want to like not like we've wanted to fuck each. Are you in this particular one? I didn't feel that way because she lives on the other side of the country and just things, you know, I was in a threesome with one of her partners once, but we didn't fuck. And then just circumstances, we haven't hooked up like that. There are other gangbangs where, I mean, this is also why with the gangbang specifically, outside of my friends and one I threw for an ex like a couple years ago, after I did a few of them where people on the internet were reaching out, asking me to throw them one, that's when I was like, I'm going to start to charge, because I don't personally love gangbang specifically as a group sex form enough to like want to make it happen for others. But like if someone invites me to theirs and I would like to have sex with them, I'm usually game, you know.
Are you
but like,
dating anyone right now?
Yeah.
How many people?
Hold on, I'm seeing a smile. Is this the same poly woman that polyed you out of the relationship some time ago?
That what polyed me out?
Yeah, I don't know the terminology, but you're already acting like it's a totally new woman. Is that correct?
Oh, wait. I think because I think the last time I was on, I think we had already broken up, and that was the recent thing.
Yes.
Because Chemda has a knack for like, if I'm experiencing heartbreak, it's like she can smell it like across from the other borough, and she's like, Billy's heart is just crushed. We should have him on.
That is so funny. Can I tell you, this is so hilarious. We were just talking about this on our wrap-up show last week on Keith and the Girl, and other guests have thought of that. Like what we just texted Hannah Boone, for example, and I'm picturing her going like, is it just because I just got out of rehab? In this case,
rehab.
yes. But in your case, I was just like, oh, who I happen to have an opening, who would be fun and easy and like, you know, friendly and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, Billy, great. Let's see what he's doing. And it's, is this because I put more balls on the internet and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what? I could see why you would think that, because I'm always getting in touch with you when there's like something traumatizing happening in your life. But have you considered that there's always something traumatizing you in your life? So whenever I reach out, you'll be like, oh, is it because of this? And I'm like, yeah, sure.
It
but
is now,
next week it'll be because of a different reason.
Sure. Well, you know, so to answer the question, no, Megan and I still are no longer together. That was the poly woman I was with for a good chunk of the core.
Should I unfollow her on Instagram?
Do we hate her now? I thought I just saw a picture. I thought I just saw a picture online of you grabbing her ass or something. I thought you even listed the name Megan. Am I wrong? Or was that a throwback ass?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right.
Who knows?
Who knows?
It might have been somebody else, but
might have been me.
We're not.
I'm gonna get in fucking trouble. Can you imagine if I just called myself out and I have some explaining to do? Oh, I don't know who it was. Who the fuck knows? But what's going on now?
Keith Cuomo. No, so I'll say this. For fucking maybe the first time in a while, in a good chunk of time, I'm not like, I don't have some sort of big traumatizing thing going on. I'm dare I say, actually feeling like a semblance of peace, which is really nice.
You got what they call these lame one-on-ones going on.
What was I gonna say? No, I am dating somebody. I mean, like I have sexual partners, like I tend to usually have, which are little, but like there is someone, more serious.
You got a favorite girl.
Well, it's not about like favorites. It's like a different type of a connection.
Okay.
Like there are people I really, really enjoy who just are not, the romantic part isn't there, but they're like, oh, this is my friend. I have people become really close friends and like on and off again, fuck buddies. Like, but
so this is more of a romantic.
There's a romantic interest out there. I don't want to say too much, but it's going.
Well,
yeah,
it's on social media. I'll figure it out. Well, like what could be too much? You know what I mean? I know the question is ironic, but what could it be?
Well, I haven't talked about her publicly really yet. And we haven't had like the podcast talk, you know what I mean? Where it's like, hi, you're dating someone who lives in the public eye, especially his dating life. Let's have a conversation about the, like what I will share and not share and stuff like that. So
is she already in the community, in the poly community?
She is not.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Lord.
Well, you don't have to be like in the poly community to be able to do non-monogamy.
No, like I can convince you to be for the length of our relationship,
Well,
and then you fucking question your life.
Hold on.
I'm not in the biking community, so I'm not gonna join Matt Bray's fucking 500-mile bike ride. You know what I mean?
Okay, when you say community, like like look, there are people who have, let's say, adjectives or identity markers, but they don't like that's not their identity. Like they're not in the community.
Sorry,
they may not go to right.
Okay, so to rephrase,
she doesn't like go to poly event stuff, but like, is she doing non-monogamy? Yes, something that I did not introduce her to the concept of.
Okay, so her last relationship was non-monogamous.
No,
got it. I got it. Kenda does it, and nobody in the audience does. I got it. I already got it.
All right. Kemda will sniff out my pain in like 3 to 18 months, and then we'll have me back.
She's not in the poly community. She hasn't been monogamous, and no. Okay.
No, she has been monogamous. She is monogamous.
She does not feel that way. I don't want to get too far into it.
She doesn't feel that way.
Some of that's her business, and I have not gotten to talk to her about like what we're sharing and not sharing yet.
Right. Why would
there is someone who's making me there is someone who is making me feel nice and full. But even before I met her a couple months ago, like I was definitely feeling in a more peaceful zone. I know it's not as entertaining, but like for once I don't feel like there's some big thing where I'm like, oh fucking no, Chemda, help me. Keith, shut up, Chemda, help me. So I'm not in one of those for once, which feels fucking liberating. Yeah.
When do you talk to people about, because you would think like this is one of the first things that comes up. Yeah, it's just your life is so public that if I even went on one date with you, I imagine I have to know where you stand with like, your social media, and it leads quickly to your podcast. You have an OnlyFans, which for a lot of people means pretty much one thing. So how would I not know that stuff about you?
Well, because like if we go on one date, I'm not necessarily like, there's not like much to be sharing.
How long have you been together?
Selfies. I've been seeing her for a couple months. And so
so it's more than one date.
It's a conversation we will be having in the near future. She's right. I've introduced her to the concept of the talk and said, like, here's some things I'd like you to think about. And then like, let's talk in a few weeks, like when you've been able to properly think of it. We both also had like some trip stuff going on. August is a busy month for us, going to different places. So, it's like, hey, think about the stuff, back burner your mind, and let's talk about it in a few weeks. But I basically gave her like the setup for it and gave her the warnings. Cause like, look, there are like things you can't put back in the box when it comes to like, podcasting, or when you are living your personal life publicly on the internet.
Are you on the apps looking for people, or you're meeting people in person?
I mean, I meet people, in a variety of ways, but like right now I'm not swiping.
Nice.
Like Bumble has undownloaded itself from, like when you don't use it long enough, they undownload the free up space. Like I haven't been swiping, and I haven't been like trolling really Reddit very much at all. So
we
like,
control Reddit for dates. That's like a thing.
Yeah, if you want like a snuggle buddy or a date or a gangbang, Reddit is like the new Craigslist meets personals ad.
Tell my ex I say hi when you see them.
Will do. Yeah, all the subreddits, like there's different subreddits for fucking everything, there are subreddits for like asexual dating. There are subreddits for New Yorkers, ones for just making blowjobs happen. There are like kink ones. There's like whatever you want to get sexually or romantically on Reddit, you can get that through a Reddit lens, like whatever your ideal boyfriend is, there's a Reddit version of that somewhere.
Have you?
Wow.
No, I mean you specifically.
Sure.
We all understand consent and things that can happen. Have you gone to what's going to be a sex, and then it's like, I know you went to ifuckhard.com and we found each other, but let's just cuddle after all. And you got to do it because, you're like, okay, I'd be an asshole to just leave. Has that kind of thing ever happened to you, Billy Procida?
I don't think I understand the question. I mean, unless you're asking,
have you ever made plans to fuck and it ended up being a cuddle?
Yes.
I mean, years ago, like I met a girlfriend, like someone who became a girlfriend. I met her at a sex party. Like she walked up to me and introduced herself. We ended up like fooling around and then like got numbers. And
I got it. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Thank you, Billy. I saw this, by the way. Speaking of the vaccine, Billy retweeted this. It's a great point.
Keith's like, move on.
No, I already know. I don't want to waste your time. I already got it. I appreciate it. The 5 most vaccinated states have 14 million people in them. They've had 580 people in the hospital, 12 deaths. The 5 least vaccinated states have 16 million people in them, 2 million more. 6,600 hospitalized, 104 deaths. In case you're still on the fence about this vaccine, I just saw somebody that I know of, so not like a close friend, but know of them, that showed a picture online that they just got the vaccine. They have the mask. They show what looks like the Jacob Center to me because that's where I got mine. And he's like, "Hey, I fucking got it, holla!" And I can't help but think you either add the reason that, a team of doctors finally got together and say you could take it, or shut the fuck up. Why are you taking a bow now? It's too late to take the bow. You should be embarrassed to say you only got it now. You get it now and you go, I don't even want the fucking sticker. What is going on here?
If I can add a third one, or it should have an apology. Or like my bad, it took so long, but I got it.
But don't make jokes about microchips. Motherfucker, It's August in 2021. Which is great. Yay, I did it. And I bet there wasn't a line, was there? They go on buses and beg you now to get it. I got my $100. Yay. Shut the fuck up. Take the Visa card and shut the fuck up. Hey guys, you want to go out? You get paid $100 now if you get it. Yeah. Oh, well, here's a story I'm reading. A Wales resident, his mother, father, and brother died of COVID-19 within 1 week of each other because they read anti-vax bullshit. You saw your whole family die. Let's see. The one, you're thinking, were people not healthy if you're still in that stupid kick? The brother that died, healthiest person. If he wasn't working out or in the gym or running, he was going on walks. He hadn't drunk in 15 years. He ate a Whole Foods plant-based diet. It's not about age anymore. Come on. A 28-year-old unvaccinated man in Georgia died from COVID-19, while his wife, who had received 1 shot, survived. She says he was deep into TikTok conspiracy theories, and for him, he just didn't want to get the shot. Meanwhile, she's into conspiracies too. She literally didn't get the second shot. She's 25. Again, young. He's 28. He's dead. After becoming ill, she said she had changed his stance on the vaccine, wishing he had gotten it. But of course, it's too late.
Holy shit. How How is this the part that's not sinking in? How are you finding other information and deciding that one's true?
Right.
Fuck.
A 22-year-old in New Orleans died after getting COVID-19. He was unvaccinated despite his mother's pleas. Please don't stop talking to your kids, she says. Don't stop asking them to get vaccinated. And you know the mom is beating herself up that she somehow did it wrong. No, your kid's just a piece of shit. I mean, maybe you raised him wrong when he was a kid, but at this point, there's nothing you can do. Let's see. Maybe you can buy him. Maybe you can buy like from the back of a CVS and you stab him when he's sleeping. I don't know.
This is making me really nervous. I was, we set like this arbitrary date, as healthy people or as people were stopping to get sick as much. Right. So we're like, okay, basically September 1st, we're released. And now I'm just like, I don't know. I'm still in quarantine. I don't know that everybody understands that because they say things like, when we had the pandemic, we are still in a pandemic.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you did like somebody was telling me, oh, my parents went to a wedding, but they had to travel to get there. And then to me, the way I make peace with going out is it's all the same. If you're at a wedding, you're hugging, you're drinking, you're everything. What's the difference if you were on a fucking plane? I don't know the difference. I know I'm going out there and I'm killing idiots. That's how I make peace with it.
I think the airplane part is safer because they mandate the masks and you're keeping them on and the air is, regulated and there's a lot of things going on there. Whereas in weddings,
you're not doing the chicken dance 6 feet apart.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a little more intimate. So you're in there with people. What were you going to say, Billy?
Well, I was just curious when Keith got vaccinated / like if there, because if any, I think many a KTG listener might have been so surprised that Keith is so like, yeah, I'm getting the shot in my fucking arm, you moron, right? It's like, because I feel like Keith loves a good conspiracy theory until it's important, which I appreciate. And so I was curious, like, did you have any skepticism?
Not for a second. My only problem was when there was the vaccine, the lines were so packed, where they're right up on top of each other. I mean, it was like a new Jay-Z shoes were dropping, and it's like, well, that's not how, as far as we know, this thing works. You're getting it in line. Vaccine's not going to take care of it right then and there. And so I waited until there weren't these ridiculous lines. Then I went in and easy breezy. Yeah, no, of course, no, there's no problem. You know what I think? I think Billy comes on the show, picks on me, leaves here, thinks I picked on him. That's what I think.
This is me fighting back. They call it in social justice circles. I'm advocating for myself now. Okay. I think it's what we're supposed to call it.
I think I like that your fists were up while you're saying that. I'm advocating for myself.
Punch. You know the great Chet Hayes, Tom Hanks, and Rita's son, Rita Wilson. Bitches make no sense, but they're all about the dollar. Some of his great lines. He made a statement even on his Instagram about the vaccine.
Hey guys, so just checking in. Look, I've been kind of on the fence about this for a while. That's why I've never spoke on it. But with the amount of people that I know recently that have gotten COVID and with like the numbers rising, I think it's important for me to say like, I got the vaccine. Okay. I think everybody should. I think it's really important, like, that we all do this just as like citizens, as Americans. We have to look out for each other and get this shit under control, guys. So, like,
but good.
I suggest to all my followers, you guys set an appointment and get the vaccine first thing. Psych, bitch. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I never had COVID. You ain't sticking me with that motherfucking needle. It's the motherfucking flu. Get over it, okay? If you're sick, stay inside. I'm tired of having. Okay, why are we working around y'all? If you're in danger, stay your ass inside. I'm tired of wearing a motherfucking mask.
It's interesting when your accent changes when you get heated.
Right.
That's interesting.
I never had it. Your dad had it. Remember? You were Tom Hanks was the first big case, and you're like, "Oh, this is real. It affected Tom Hanks." Motherfucker.
Yeah, for so many people, Tom Hanks was the breaking point. They were like, "Oh, now it's a real thing." It got Forrest, Right?
Yeah, he got SNL because of that.
Imagine being a Chet Hanks fan. Like who like he's got a following, and I'm like, who is your following?
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Who's
I
getting
can't-
advice from Chet Hanks?
I can't help but think Colin Hanks is like, oh, the will is looking real good. I'd buy boats now. Like, believe me, it's not going anywhere else in the family.
Yeah, Colin's like, I'm gonna get that Toy Story money just for me.
Yeah.
You know, I was listening to that. I saw it on Instagram or wherever, and I was listening to it and I was like, whoa, did I get Chet wrong? Like, I thought he would be anti-vax. And I'm like, there it is. There it is. And Xerxes heard it and he said, well, thank God people turn off videos early on.
Right. I didn't know where he'd stand. The end. Yeah.
Yeah.
I tweeted about Chet Hanks earlier today, and then you started playing the clip. I was like, now, I admittedly did what I hate when people do, and I try not to do myself by. I tweeted about a thing before I like properly informed myself, or like, so I didn't even like watch the video thing. It was just like Chet's being anti-vax shit. So I did tweet. And he started playing it. I was like, come down. I was like, oh, I guess I got it wrong. While you were playing, I went and deleted the tweet, and then after I did, then he turned, and I'm like, no.
This is the world we live in.
I'm sure the 3 people who liked that tweet at the Billy Procida were really upset about the loss.
Oh my God. What? Wow. You know what? Watch that segment on our YouTube page, because I was looking back and forth. I probably didn't see the amount of sweat that just poured out in the last minute.
An NYU security guard viciously stabbed his boss with a, quote, large knife resembling a machete after being kicked off campus for refusing to comply with COVID-19 protocols. He said, I will not get the vaccine. He said, well, we're making our students get it, so of course you have to get it. And he said, really, motherfucker? Here's a machete.
Where? A machete?
A knife like a machete, a large knife resembling a machete. You know how people exaggerate. So he stabbed multiple times viciously, and he's in the hospital with broken ribs and a collapsed lung because he had to tell somebody to get the vaccine. Yeah, I'm not saying it to anybody's face. I'm saying it, through a microphone, quarantine. Get the fucking vaccine. I'm not going up to somebody. It's nuts out there. People
remember when people stayed with me and then they gave me 2 stars on my cleanliness and I cried.
Right.
And then I had to like think about it and I cried because if it's hysterical, it's historical.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody tells you that you have to take the vaccine and you stab them. If it's hysterical, it's historical.
Right.
That's a lot of trauma to put into a 2-star review on if you're vaccinated or not.
What's
Holy
like
shit.
a kid complaining about his parents? How many times do you have to tell me? Well, you have to do it, son. You keep telling me to do it. I hate you.
Yeah, I mean, like I remember there was there are all of those stories. Like last year, I remember there was like a French bus driver. He had to tell someone to put the mask on, and someone killed him.
Yeah, I wouldn't tell anybody.
Because he said, and that's why I was like, I stayed off of the subways for, probably till March or April this year. Because like, I don't want to be in the scenario where I might try to suggest to someone to put their mask on and they want to get violent. I was like, I'll scoot on my Revel scooter for now.
Oh, and that reminds me, speaking of not, butting in, totally different, but Xerxes was in line to get a bagel from a place yesterday. He comes out and he's like, did you see those 3 kind of youngish kids, blah, blah, blah. He describes them like, yeah. He goes, they were operating on a stolen credit card, openly talking about it in line, that they can't believe they've been getting away with this. Last night was crazy, blah, blah, blah. And now they're about to use this card again. And I'm like, did you give the cashier or anything like a heads up? And he says, no. I mind my own business.
Well, you have to also, like, you think you can be cool and like write on a piece of paper maybe and slide it or something. But it's like, what's this, sir?
Mm-hmm.
Your credit card stolen, sir? No, forget it. I'm on the subway and on the platform, somebody's walking through, getting out and just yelling, COVID, COVID, I believe, as if to say, wear your fucking mask. I think she's risking her life.
Yeah, agreed. And because there are a lot of people, and it feels like more now, are leaving their house. And I think we've all had these days where you're like, I wish somebody would today. I absolutely wish somebody would. And it's like the first person who just goes, excuse me, that's here we go. Where's my fucking machete? Now, that's the thing, is a lot of us who are saying, I wish you would, don't have a machete. But as Keith said before, please react to people like they have a machete in their pocket.
because they fucking might.
Yeah.
Or sorry, something that resembles a machete. I don't know what exists out there that is lethal, deadly, and knife-like. That is not a machete. That resembles a machete. But you never know.
Right. What resembles? That is a very good point.
So here's what Billy was alluding to earlier. Andrew Cuomo, New York's governor, has indeed resigned over the harassment allegations. And you remember, you knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen when he said, these are baseless, these accusations, these sexual accusations, and laughable. And I said, there's no planet where I'd find it funny, even if I didn't do it. Of course you did it.
And he doubled down, it seemed, because I saw the part where he addressed it in this 45-minute fucking lengthy, chatty dismissal of himself. And he said, you know, these 11 women, I absolutely made them feel uncomfortable. I'm really sorry about that. I absolutely crossed lines. For one woman, I kissed her on the cheek at a wedding. I shouldn't have done that. And he, and he goes and he talks. He's like, yeah, you shouldn't do that. I called people sweetheart and darling. That definitely I shouldn't do. And I'm like, I don't think that there is one woman that I know that will accuse somebody, that will take the time and the effort and the accusations coming back at her because some dude kept calling her sweetheart or called her sweetheart. I think he said like, oh, occasionally I accident. Like it was very like, yeah, sweetheart is in my vocabulary. I really need to take that out of my vernacular. And he was just downplaying all this. And I'm like, I'm going to look at the accusations again, because there is no way that someone's like, yeah, he kissed me on the cheek this one time at a wedding. And no man is going to make me stand like, what? Right. That's what then you're all in trouble. You're all fucked. If that's what we're coming after.
If you think that's true, you should be so fucking there. The way comedians are, act like, Louis C.K. didn't do anything or this kind of thing, which I'll talk about more, then you really should be shitting yourself that multiple women will get together and just pick you out and probably Photoshop old pictures of when they were a child and in your exact apartment, because the world's so fucking nuts that this happened. No, Mario is that. Andrew Cuomo comes out and he's like, the best way I can help now is if I step aside and let government get back to governor. Like, I'm just a distraction because like Henda said, one time I had a meeting with my top aides and I wore cologne. Now, why would I do that?
Right.
So now I'm learning, don't wear cologne to a business meeting, I guess. Is that what I'm supposed to learn? Anyway, it's just too much right now for everybody. So because the Grand Poobah said, no, you have to resign, I think I'm gonna, because it's too much. No, didn't happen. No, didn't happen. Then the right powerful person said we did an investigation. It happened. You know what? Let's just forget the whole fucking thing and let me go home.
There was one accusation where this dog was humping this woman's leg, and he goes, if I were a dog, I would hump your leg. And it's like, what?
So now I know I should have had a dog on a tighter leash. I'm going to look into it. Anyway, let's not. I have a follow-up question. This is the opposite of what I'm saying. I want no distractions. Let's let this hot chick take my place. Go. She's a lieutenant. She's going to take my place. Go ahead, Toots. And hopefully I can host Jeopardy.
Which you
they
saw that
picked somebody?
Yeah, they picked two people, and none of them are LeVar Burton.
Oh yeah.
Fuck.
I'm really curious why they didn't pick him, and I know they ended up picking like the producer, but who's better than that? What are you looking for?
We just wanted an edit button and LeVar Burton, the host Jeopardy. That's all we wanted. They gave us fleets and spaces and Mayim Bialik, who's lovely, but that's not who we asked for. And we're just like, just give it to him. He wants it. We all want it. And we're not like, no, we're gonna give you a TV executive you've never heard of.
She's
also,
doing
Mayim Bialik is lovely with an asterisk. Thank you. Continue.
She's doing the evening shows. Like if they have special primetime shows,
so what the TV executive has the dumb ones and then Mayim's gonna do the smart ones at night.
Right. Or probably the opposite. She'll do the celebrities,
Oh my God, that would be terrible for her. I would feel so bad because like she's actually a genius. So she had to like try to ask like kind of simple trivia questions to stupid celebrities.
Right.
That would be a hell gig.
This river and blah blah blah, and then she answers it. Mesopotamia.
She's just like, how did none of you know that? Oh yeah, because you all were born beautiful and just got to walk through life, and I had to kind of like study and accidentally got on a really great show. Okay.
That great
Right.
show was magical. Wait, which one are you talking about?
I mean,
I swear to God,
whichever.
Billy.
Well, I'm a little too young for Blossom, I think, but I'm
Okay.
aware of its existence.
Okay. Dismissed. Thank you.
And I mean that in every way
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah, but
Blossom
no,
was
well,
the greatest. Okay. It was amazing. It was
I'll take
amazing.
your word for it.
But we'll talk to her longer, and they'll be worth her time. Regardless of what you think of Cuomo, says Alec Baldwin, this is a tragic day. Party politics in this country draw ambitious but ultimately isolated, even socially maladjusted men and women who, given the current cancel culture, will likely have their shortcomings exposed and magnified.
It's all the same party. What party line? It's all Democrats.
Also, it's not cancel culture. You're fired.
Yeah.
Like we all get fired when we don't do the job up to par with what we're supposed to. You didn't get cancel cultured. You got fucking fired.
And look
Yeah.
into yourself. All your friends are getting cancel cultured. Woody Allen, Andrew Cuomo. Look around and look into him, by the way, you fucking idiot. What's wrong with you? Well, maybe the big thing is they're going to change the bridge back to the Tappan Zee Bridge. That's
They
what
are?
everybody's excited about. We'll see. Do you keep it?
I
You know,
fucking
you
hope
had
so.
Mario Cuomo. Well, we don't know him anymore. Andrew isn't keeping the legacy going. So-
Bobby Presido was very upset about the name change. I can tell you.
Right. That's the big thing that people are upset about.
Yo, for the last several years, I see like back in my hometown area, there's like, always Tappan Zee Bridge, signs all over the place.
Right.
Yeah, it's a very contentious issue.
I
They
feel the
almost-
same way about the Triborough Bridge. It goes to tri-boroughs. It doesn't
Yeah.
go to some fucking, what is it, RFK Bridge or
It's the-
something?
Yeah, hey, RFK, great guy. Not his fucking bridge. It's the Triborough Bridge.
What are the chances that anybody's a great guy in that era and before? What is fucking,
Well, I mean, RFK also did possibly, accidentally kill, manslaughter a lady, but Chappaquiddick's a fun movie to watch.
no, definitely name things after people. There's
Oh, that
no,
whole thing.
yeah, there's just definitely do that. Definitely statues, all of it.
There's no heroes from back then.
Bill O'Reilly tweeted out, like Cuomo, many of the loudest woke voices have quiet resumes that are appalling, especially in the media and in Hollywood. This
Shut
guy
up.
got fired from Fox. That cesspool had to pay $32 million in restitution to one woman. We don't know for what, but whatever it was worth $32 million. And he's like, Cuomo, a perv. Am I wrong, folks? We have you on video being a piece of shit. On audio, I mean. What the fuck? $32 million for one person. I don't remember what the other people were. But okay. I guess who gives a shit? I guess who gives a fuck? Because again, how long has it been? Not too long since Louis C.K. in the New York Times article. And people forget that New York Times made a list of people's names and exactly what Louis did, including taking his dick out in front of two women in a bathroom and blocking the door, stopping them from leaving. Louis C.K. said everything in that New York Times article is true. Now, do people remember that I'm getting this absolutely correct? And now Louis C.K. sends out a tweet. I'm really looking forward to seeing your faces on my next tour. Careful though, I tell some rather impolite jokes and stories. That's not what got you in trouble. Impolite jokes.
He's at Madison Square Garden like next weekend.
He's doing the smaller thing, but he's still doing things. He's still doing a national tour.
Yeah.
That was 4 years ago.
My main beef when like comics talk about, anyone talks about cancel culture, I guess I go like the first question I ask, like, what's your definition? And I sincerely ask is like, what's your definition of canceled? Because I think they always mean publicly criticized, which are separate, because to me, because this is a big thing in our country. I think we're saying a lot of the same words to each other and we have different meanings for them. So we're not speaking the same languages. So I
Yeah,
try to
like
at
what
least-
is hookup?
It's yeah, sure. It's like let's at least clarify like terms. And if because I see here cancel, I think you don't work right now and for a while. Like I just think like you're not going to be working, and not like you lost a gig, right? And so when I ask comments like who is canceled, who also shouldn't have been like is not working, did not get to work for a long period of time, and like what they did maybe didn't deserve. No one can name an example because they always throw out a name out, but like. Yeah, because he fucking said this thing, right? It's like, it's always, they never have like an innocent, I have yet to be brought, I only could think of like maybe one innocent-ish person. It's like, who could you name? Who was so innocent?
That's a good point. And it's good that you're actually asking because then it makes people have to think about their own answer. And again, like you might just be fired. That doesn't mean you necessarily, how about the priests who touch the kids and then they get moved to a different church? We're all cool with that. Like that's sort of the same thing that's happening. You sort of get shuffled for a minute. You have to be quiet and lay low for a minute. And then you kind of get to do whatever you want.
Well, anyway,
people getting fired. Yeah.
Andrew Cuomo's getting into comedy now.
I just, I think there's a different conversation for, I think the outrage about someone's thing, whether or not they lost a job, maybe they lost a gig. I think there's a separate conversation about like the tone of the outrage over things, but that people get to still work through. Kevin Hart's doing fine. Kevin Hart was never canceled. He lost arguably one of the biggest jobs that he's ever wanted, but he's fine. He was doing movies and he was touring through that stuff. So like Kevin's okay, right? He's not canceled. Canceled would be like the next movie got shelved, like when Mel Gibson's The Beaver got shelved indefinitely because of his shit, right? It's like his tour dates would have been canceled, and like a lot of people would have been disavowing. He was on Ellen like a week later, right? Like Kevin's fine, not canceled. Criticized. There's a separate conversation about the conversation we had about Kevin Hart, but he was not canceled.
Criticizes all stand-ups do. I mean, all comedians. We basically like criticize the world. This is why we think it's funny.
My problem is the being tricked when Louis C.K. comes out and goes, hello, everybody. Do I have your consent? Wasn't it a crazy world out there? I'm like, you motherfucker. How was that?
I hate that I'm going to pay $5 to eventually watch that special.
No, find it for no money. Also, I agree with Keith. It's not that like you will be, you have to shut up now forever. It's that when you speak of this, speak in truth.
There's multiple stories about Chris D'Elia raping underage girls. Okay. That's the story. He takes a break from his podcast, comes back and goes, I've learned a lot. I'm so sorry. I'm like, oh my God, he's going to talk about this. I have a problem with wanting to have sex with overage fans. I'm like, well, what do I care? I'm not your wife. Yeah. You're lying. That is not what happened.
Yeah, one of my biggest issues with Louis, especially because like Louis, was not accused of like groping, raping anybody, not saying what he did wasn't bad, he needed to go. My beef is that it was a semi-perfect situation for someone that we thought was so great. I think a lot of us, based off of a lot of his material, felt that Louis had semblances of like an understanding of aspects of feminism, right? So it's like that was a lost opportunity for the capital M men to see someone get called out for shitty behavior, go away, learn things, and then come back, not only share what he learned about himself and what caused those things, but then also probably make it hilarious because he is that level of comedic talent. Like he could have been that. So I am pissed at Louis, not as much even for the stuff, but how he handled everything coming back. How he handled that criticism. There are so many different ways he could have gone about that. And I think men as a gender lost that because we still don't have this a great example of like, did something shitty, went away, transformed, and I actually think, and learned about it.
I think you and Keith sort of are saying the same thing. He came back and pretended like the thing he went away for. He minimized it, pretended it didn't happen, pretended it was something else so that he can tell this joke. And it's like, well, okay, well, you are telling jokes.
It's cowardly, if anything, because like we all know Louis C.K. is capable of writing at least 5 brilliant minutes about all of that and like
Right.
what he had to learn. And when I heard he was getting back at the clubs and stuff and working stuff out, I was hearing like clips of like jokes, like lines here and there, like, oh, I went to hell and back, and while I was in hell, I met Hitler, right? And I thought, oh, I would listen to whatever the rest of that joke is, because maybe there's something about like transformative justice in there.
Sure.
What silly fucking me. So like, I mean, that was heartbreaking. But seriously, like I think men need an example of someone going away and coming back, having learned something. Because otherwise, like,
tell men
Dan Harmon,
to while
maybe,
they go away, look for something.
But
Right.
you know what? Even if you're a fucking genius, what can you come up with going, I did learn. Don't block a bathroom door with your dick out with employees or wannabe employees in a bathroom.
Sure.
You can be a genius and not be able to explain that.
Yeah, but it's not for nothing. Like, I think my understanding of the incidents was they were all during a particular period of years. During, I think, post the divorce. These are not excuses by any means. Just like context stuff that I'm sure there's some stuff there like he could have done some inner work on, learned some things about himself. Wow, these behaviors are coming out from this, not okay. Here's what I'm learning. Here's what I'm trying to do differently. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just pissed we don't have that example.
Well, then you have, well, you never will. But also you have his supporters, right away online. And then he's like, oh, wait, I don't have to learn anything.
Imagine if Louis C.K. came out tomorrow and said the thing, like the mind fuck those fans who like stuck with it through the whole thing and denied how significant it was the whole time. Imagine what they're going to be faced with if Louis was like, yeah, actually there's things to learn, and actually that wasn't okay, and then their heads explode. Either they have to turn on Louis, or if they might actually have to confront their own misogyny. But we won't know.
My point is, don't be sad, Alec Baldwin. Andrew Cuomo will be a pundit in 2 months. Okay, don't worry about it. He'll actually be paid more.
And I'm actually more. And then we should, as a society, be a little bit more upset with the people who still want to go pay those tickets and go see. Like the people at Louis' Madison Square Garden gigs, I think, are complicit.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I was looking at an article, one of these COVID articles that I read. On the bottom of it is just, a bunch of ads, how to save money on your air conditioning, this kind of thing. And one of the clickbaits is, forget everything you know about getting fit over 40, says Mike Tyson. And I clicked on it because I got to see what's going on. And it's, some bullshit, the supplements I don't even know if he's part of. But how about forget everything you know about him being a convicted rapist? Oh, you did that? Because he got into comedy. He started doing a one-man show that's basically stand-up. He did the Hangover. Go into comedy. It's safe here.
Oof. You said it.
And here he is with the stand-up set, Father O'Hanrahan. Hey guys, you get it. You understand things aren't black and white.
And I you know what, Billy, I really agree with you. And I was waiting for that to happen also. Like, we expect this thing, like if there is recovery in this world, which we believe in recovery, right? We believe that people can get better, learn a lesson, have a timeout in jail or have a timeout in some kind of recovery, be a recovering addict, be a recovering, all of this stuff. We expect to come back. And when people come back and say they're recovered, but never admit to what actually happens, that's not recovery, but it does look like recovery for people who don't know what that is.
Mm-hmm. And if you can just start with saying like, yes, I did the thing. Like I've been called out for some of the ways like I've like interacted on Twitter like many years ago. And like, I was so defensive about even calling what it was. And like, as soon as I was able to just say like, you know what? Yes, I did that thing. The world didn't collapse around me. And like, it was the beginning of me being able to like work on myself and like actually find some peace. And like admitting that like, yeah, I harassed these people on Twitter, digitally, whatever, like, back in 2015, I did that. And I felt so much more peace than all of the defensive energy I put into calling it something else or dismissing or downplaying, et cetera. It's like, but a lot of guys are just, earlier, Keith, you were exaggerating and joking that like guys would have to think that like, hey, we're in big trouble because the world must be nuts. But they're like, I'm not saying they're right, obviously, but it's like there are a lot of men who do think that's what's happening.
Do they say that on a first date? I don't think they really. I really don't think they really think that.
No, I
really don't.
I think it's an excuse to not. You're not. There's no follow-ups to these people, right? So they just go. Women can be bitches. Famous people. They you know. It's not even.
You should check out the message. The forums are full of this stuff, right? You go to incel forums, men's rights forums, like subreddits, stuff like that. Now, sure, some people are just misogynist shitbags. I do think there is a subset of these dudes in what we would call like problematic communities who just sincerely think like women are on a vendetta to get guys back. And also if they actually work collectively, kind of earned it. But, you know,
thank God they're not getting laid, right? So they don't have to deal with this problem. But if they go on a first date, do they go, hey, I'm just going to say it like it's a fact because you get it. But I really hope it doesn't ruin, if this works out, I hope it doesn't ruin it that, 12 women can get together at any time against me. They know.
Mm-hmm.
Keith, I know this first date is very precious and that like best.
Well, that conversation isn't until it's during the "I love you" date, is what I mean. But
I think you're wrong about that. I think people are just. It's okay to get to know me with these thoughts because these are just regular thoughts. I don't think that people think that they're so putting themselves out there.
I want to hear any listener can tell me that your guy said to you, hey, it could happen to me. You know, I'm good, right? Because
but like, why would they say that on a date?
No one's saying that on date. Why wouldn't you say it? If I believe this,
because they know it's because they don't want her to get freaked out. Because I think
what's to get freaked out? It's a fact,
right?
I think they are saying it. I think you both are confused. I think you could meet a man not first date but first meet, and they will express that to you. It's not like completely abnormal. It is the way of the world. The same as like, you know, you've met women and it's like, oh, you white men, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, did you just fucking dismiss me like right up front? Because it's a fact. It's a fact. You people are fucking suck. You're probably gonna, you know, do some harm to me based on whatever the fuck is in my timeline and your history. And I can show you a lot of proof where I should be aware of you. I think that they have a lot of proof that they should be aware of women and that it's just a fact.
I think people give people too much credit.
Chemda, do you think that, like, you know, when you say like, yes, they express it, it's like they're not expressing it the way Keith is saying so explicitly, but like the sentiment do you think that the sentiment just ekes out through other topics of conversation?
Well, look at the main incel that we've had on the show is the Goots. Remember the Goots? He speaks like he speaks and we're like, oh, you're an incel. And he's like, and then he resonates with the message and we're hearing it. And he's not necessarily just going, I'm an incel, I have these things, but his expression of when women get brought up, when sex gets brought up, it's from that perspective. So, I mean, it's not like he came in going like, please interview me, I'm an incel, I'll tell you why it's truth. It's, oh yeah, of course that woman wouldn't sleep, like, because these fucking women will use you until you don't have anything, and they'll use their sexuality against you because they know that you're dying to sleep with them. And it's like, what kind of thought process is that? How old are you?
There's this woman, I don't have it handy. This woman, Talia Levin, wrote a book called Culture Warlords, where she infiltrated these sub-communities, white supremacists, alt-right stuff. By the way, she said, hey, they're planning a big thing. And then on Jan 6th, a big thing happened. But she also infiltrated incel communities. And one of the big thing about incel, she was telling me was like, you know, yeah, like incel means involuntarily celibate. Yes, it's about like, oh, we can't get laid. But like, even if they get laid, it's not actually about the non-sex. It's a community about misogyny. And it's coming out through the fact that they don't have sex. Because even if they get laid, they might still want to be in that community, and they're not, like, by definition involuntarily celibate
and
anymore,
I think that's,
but they still hate women, and that's what's binding them together.
I think that's the example I just gave. It's, you know, of course women are always plotting. They don't even know they're plotting. That's just the way they think. They don't even know how good looking they are or how much power they have, and they use this power for evil, and on top of it, they don't fuck me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wonder what they think about Captain Britain. Oh well, this is the world. What are you gonna do, right? Is
Yeah.
quarantining the worst thing?
Right. Okay. That's a good perspective. I'll stay in for 2 more months.
Billy Procida, you want to download his podcast, the Man Whore Podcast. You want to not be around your parents when you follow his social media. But that's the thing, too, when you get in trouble for showing your dick. There's 17 social media places that show your dick, and somehow these people are blowing it.
Well, now I keep my dick. Now I keep my dick. Since you saw me naked doing yoga on Twitter, my dick is exclusively on OnlyFans at onlyfans.com/callmebilly.
Okay.
And that's a very interesting thing that you say, call me Billy, because I was thinking about your name earlier and OnlyFans, and you have like probably people, I assume you want this, they're jerking off to you, and to jerk off and go, yeah, Billy, give it to me, Billy. I'm like, shouldn't we upgrade your name to like Bill or William or something?
Oh, no. They tried to make me do that in high school, and I was like, not about it.
I
I'm
just
Billy.
jerked off to Billy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little Billy.
Rub one out to Billy. That's what I say. Yeah.
Little Billy is turning me on. It's just, I don't know.
Little Billy gets a little creepy. That's what my my former babysitter called me. But it's call me Billy. I don't know. I like Billy. I've always felt like I'm a Billy at heart.
All
That's
right.
fair.
And final question. When you're in a gangbang and the person's in front of you and you're all about to eat this woman out, right?
As you do.
And let's say he spits on it. Are you like, God, I was going to eat that?
That's why the first thing I did when everything got started was I went down on Lindsay right away. And I was like, now I'm probably have done my pussy eating. I think a threesome where like maybe I know the guy is a little different, but that much going on, that much slop. Also COVID time. I don't know. Just in general, I'm like, I don't need to taste people's
This is just
spit right
like
now.
when we were kids and my brothers were like, shotgun. It's like, fuck, you said it. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I bring a sponge. You never know what's going down there, you know. Billy, good to see you again. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for having me back.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.